Good evening, students. Today we are going to learn about the internal structure of medulla. We have finished the internal structure of the spinal cord, and now this is the time to ascend to the brain stem. So in the brain stem, first we will learn the internal structure of the medulla, then we will pass to the pons, and then we will go to the midbrain internal structure. Now, this internal structure of the medulla as traditionally we will learn into the three different sections, okay, or three different levels. And these levels from below upward are at the level of the pyramidal decussation. But before I tell you these three levels, let us very quickly just learn about the external features of medulla on anterior as well as on the posterior view. This diagram shows the anterior aspect of the medulla. This is the pons. This is the anterior median fissure, and on either side of that, these two swellings which are seen, these are the pyramids, and pyramid contains deep to it the fibers which are coming from the cerebral cortex and going to the various level of the spinal cord. Okay, these are the corticospinal fibers, and most of these fibers they will decussate here, okay, at the pyramidal decussation. Okay, just on to the lateral side of the pyramid, okay, there is the presence of the swellings, what is called as olivary swelling, and in between the pyramid and olive, this groove is called as an anteromedian sulcus, which gives attachment to the 12th cranial nerve or the hypoglossal nerve. I have shown it on this side only, not on this side, okay, on the anterolateral sulcus. Then just posterior to the olive or posterolateral to the olive, there is another sulcus called as the posterolateral sulcus, which gives origin to the 9th, 10th and the 11th cranial nerve. Still posterolateral to the olive and posterolateral sulcus, this structure is the inferior cerebellar peduncle or inferior cerebellar peduncle. Let us see the posterior aspect of the medulla, that is external feature of the medulla. This is the posteromedian sulcus, okay. This is, here was the fissure, but here on posterior aspect it is sulcus is there. This part here is the open part of the medulla or the upper part, and this is the closed part of the medulla. Then on to either side of the posteromedian sulcus, you see there is a tract and then the swelling, and this is the gracile tubercle, and still lateral to it in the closed part, this is the cuneate tubercle, and still lateral to this cuneate tubercle, this you will get a swelling, and that is called as the tuberosiniarium. Now if you will see the structure in the open part which forms the floor of the fourth ventricle, that is the lower part of the floor of fourth ventricle, you will see that on either side this triangular structure which apex is pointed downward, this is called as the hypoglossal triangle, deep to which will lie the hypoglossal nucleus or nucleus of the 12th cranial nerve. Still lateral to it you will see on either side and another triangle, this is called as the vagal triangle whose apex is upward. And then in the lateral area, the lower part of this medulla, fourth ventricle, or in the open part of the medulla, this area on either side is the vestibular area, deep to which will lie the large vestibular nucleus. That is the medullary part of the vestibular, because it is also extending upward into the pons, which I have not shown you in this diagram. I hope that this must have given you a just review of the anterior and posterior view of the medulla, and now I am in position to tell you what are the levels of medulla, where we will cut a transverse section of medulla and will see the internal structure. The first transverse section is here, which is passing through the closed part of the medulla, and it is at the level where these pyramids they will show the decussation, okay, and this area is called as the area of the pyramidal decussation. So our first section will pass through the pyramidal decussation. The second section will pass just below the olive, where deep inside, okay, and on the posterior aspect this will pass again through the close part only, and deep inside is the presence of another important decussation, what is called as the great sensory decussation. So the second section for internal structure we will use is the level of the great sensory decussation, and the final section from the upper part or from the open part of the medulla will be passing through the olive here on anterior aspect from the two olivary swellings, okay, deep to which lies the olivary nuclei, okay, on right and left side, and posteriorly this section will pass through the vagal and the hypoglossal triangle. So these are the three sections which we are going to learn in the medulla. Today we are going to learn this section, that is the section number 1, which is passing through the pyramidal decussation. So let us come to see this pyramidal decussation, but before that you see this our old diagram where we have used the spinal cord. I have used the two transverse section of the spinal cord, where centrally placed was the gray matter and on the peripheral was the white matter, okay, the funiculi, okay, right. So the posterior, lateral and anterior funiculi were there in the white columns of the white matter, okay, and this was the central canal, the posterior horn of the gray matter or the posterior column, then this is the anterior column of the gray matter, okay, that is just here. Oh, and in this blue color on the white funiculi we are showing, okay, these various tracts, okay, so this blue color we are using for the sensory tracts, okay, which are going upwards from various level of spinal cord to the brain. And in this section I had taught you about the motor tracts, okay, which are going downwards from brain to the various levels of the spinal cord, okay. So these are the various motor and sensory fibers present on either half of the spinal cord, okay, spinal cord. Once you have understood this, let us come to the lowest section of this medulla, and this is the lowest section of the medulla. This section is a transitional section, okay, that means it is at the junction of almost the spinal cord and the lower medulla, okay, and from this section onward the spinal cord, the medulla will show a lot of changes. There will be the change in the reorganization of the gray matter. There will be the white matter will also reorganize. So it will not be similar to that of the spinal cord. So this is a section which is considered as the transitional zone for the medulla, okay, from spinal cord to that of the medulla, okay. We will see these changes which we will see in this section at the level of the pyramidal decussation, and for the descriptive purpose we will first learn what are the changes have taken place, okay, which are different from that of the spinal cord in the white matter. First we will learn about the white matter, and then what changes has taken place at this section into the gray matter, okay. So let us come first to the changes in the white matter. Now this was the area of the pyramid, okay. See this in this medulla, this is the pyramid here, and this area of the pyramid means corticospinal fibers, corticospinal motor fibers, and as they will run to the close part of the medulla at the level of the pyramidal decussation, the most of the fibers which are running downward in the pyramids, they will cross to the opposite side, okay. This will cross to the opposite side and from right and left side, and there will be a formation of the decussation. Decussation means crisscrossing, okay. The fibers from right will go to left side fibers will go to that of the right side. So this is the area for that decussation, and this is the fibers of pyramids which are decussating, okay, as they go backwards and laterally from the pyramid zone. So it is called as the pyramidal decussation, which lies anterior to the gray matter. It lies anterior to the gray matter, and as I said, about 75 to 95% of the fibers of pyramid, okay, they will cross to the lateral side, okay, and here they will form a tract what is called as the lateral corticospinal tract. So I will name it as lateral corticospinal tract. Okay, so this is lateral cortico, and this was the pyramid or pyramidal fibers, okay, corticospinal fibers. That's why it is called lateral. Now the remaining fibers, see, since I said that it is 75 to 95% which will cross, that means the remaining fibers will be 25 to 5% of fibers. They will not cross. They will descend as such, and they will descend as such downward into the spinal cord, and this lateral corticospinal tract will also descend downward into the spinal cord, okay, as lateral corticospinal tract. See here, this was the lateral cortico, motor fibers, cortico, and still here it is the remaining fibers as the anterior corticospinal tract in the spinal cord, okay. So this will be the anterior corticospinal tract, okay. This is, now here what you will see, that the white matter in the posterior column, white column, these are the gracile and cuneate on either side, okay. This is the posterior median septum, this is the gracile, and this is the cuneate, okay, fasciculi are the white tract, okay, bundle of the white fibers, okay, which are called as the tract or the fasciculus, okay. They start terminating into the, and this were bringing the conscious proprioceptive fibers, okay. See this was the conscious proprioceptive fibers from gracile and cuneate, okay, tract, and this tract, the fibers which are coming from various levels of the spinal cord, they will start terminating, that means will forming the synapse with the neurons present in these two swellings, and these two swellings are nothing but the gracile and cuneate nuclei. So this was the gracile and this was cuneate, okay, tracts, which will start ending into the gracile and cuneate nuclei, okay, which have started forming, okay, they have started. So these fibers will terminate here, okay, terminate here, okay. Then you see the white matter in the lateral white column, in the lateral white column on either side, these two tracts which were present also into the sensory fibers, spinal cord, various level, ascending tract, anterior spinocerebellar and posterior spinocerebellar, they are still maintaining the same position in the lowest part of the medulla oblongata at the level of the pyramidal decussation. Thus we have seen the fate of the pyramid fibers. We have seen the with position of this anterior and posterior, okay, spinocerebellar fibers, and these were the gracile and cuneate, fasciculus or the tract, okay, tract. So after completing this white matter, okay, let us come to see, okay, let us see here, there is another structure which is present, and this I forgot to mention. It is the lateral spinothalamic tract. It was also present in the spinal cord in the same position. See here the sensory tract, it is lateral spinothalamic tract, and this is just very close to that of the lateral corticospinal tract here. Since I have just represented the motor and sensory in the two separate diagram, but they lie close to each other, that's why here they are lying close to each other in the lower part of the medulla, okay, at the level of the pyramidal decussations. This completes the white matter description, okay, or internal structure of the medulla as far as the white matter is concerned, okay, or tracts are concerned. Now let us go to the structure which is the gray matter. Okay, the nuclei are the gray matter, okay, at the level of pyramidal decussation shows the interesting changes now, okay. Central canal and the central gray matter. This central canal and the central gray matter are displaced more posteriorly. See here. This was not displaced that posteriorly in the spinal cord. This was the central canal and central gray matter was here. But here it has started. See the difference. Here it is anteriorly. It is much more central canal. I would say distance is much more, while posteriorly it is less. So it has started displacing more posteriorly. Now because of due to the passage of the fiber posterolaterally from pyramid towards that of the lateral, okay, white column here of the spinal cord on either side of the gray matter here. Now this is crossing through the anterior gray column. See, this is anterior, this is posterior gray column and anterior gray column of the spinal cord. This is the anterior gray column, this is posterior. So when the fibers are crossing, they are crossing through the anterior gray column, and here thus they will detach this part of the anterior gray column. Okay, so due to the passage of the decussating pyramidal fibers, anterior gray horn get detached. Okay, this get detached and form the from that of the central gray matter. It get detached from the then, and some author believes that this detached part of the anterior gray column will ultimately form the spinal nucleus of the accessory nerve, that is 11th cranial nerve, but that is a different matter. Okay, now nobody thinks so. Now then the caudal end of the spinal nucleus, see the spinal nucleus and the tract of the trigeminal nerve, they are located here, caudal end, that is the beginning of the spinal nucleus. This is the spinal nucleus and this is the spinal nucleus, its tract, that is the tract of the spinal nucleus and its tract of the trigeminal nerve. That means they will ultimately send the sensory fibers to the trigeminal nuclei which are located at the level of the pons. Okay, this is the beginning of this trigeminal nerve. Spinal tract of the trigeminal nerve, and this tract are seen at this level. That means they start appearing at this level, and as we will go up into the medulla, they will become larger and larger. What will become larger and larger? The nucleus and the tract of the spinal nucleus and the tract of the trigeminal nerve. Okay, and this below, if you will trace this below, this is the spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. It is nothing but the substantia gelatinosa. Below it continues with this substantia gelatinosa, which is present at the tip of the dorsal gray horn. Okay, dorsal gray horn. So it is in continuity upward of the dorsal, with that of the substantia gelatinosa of the spinal cord. Now this nuclei of the gracile and cuneate nucleus, they start forming here, as I shown. The bulging is seen, and at the upper level we will see that they are isolated mass. But this bulging of the spinal, of the gracile and cuneate nuclei is seen at this level of the pyramidal decussation. And the fibers which are coming from spinal cord in the gracile, this fasciculus or the tract and the cuneate tract, they start synapsing, or they start ending into the neurons of this gracile and that of the cuneate nuclei. Now these nuclei, they are nothing but the extension of this central gray mass. Okay, this central gray mass which was present into the spinal cord here, and this nuclei are nothing but the extension of the central gray mass which we will see at the upper level, will get detached. Okay, they will get detached and form the separate gracile and cuneate nuclei. I hope that I have covered almost all major tracts and the gray matter, okay, of this transitional zone, that is the zone between the spinal cord, where spinal cord has started changing to become the medulla oblongata. Okay, so this is the internal structure of the medulla at the most lowest part where the pyramidal decussation is taking place. That's why this transverse section of medulla was at the level of the pyramidal decussation, which resemble, okay, mostly to the structure of the spinal cord. But as we will go to the higher level, the structure of the spinal cord will not be recognizable. Thank you very much for watching this video.